kyentaddeko bwendi nga muvaamu ebiwuka ng'ensolosozi.
Ebimu byewuunyisa binakuwaza, ebirala bikyusa obulamu.
Omuntu atasomye atya n'okuyingira ofiisi naye ng'omanyi nti nina omukyala n'abaana awaka nakinkola nina ne bizinesi naye ntya n'okuyingira ofiisi eno okwennyonnyolako.
Eddoboozi lye njogerako tuwaye.
On the next episode, brought to you by
Mirinda, free of Kwanzaa.
next episode of Deception.
This shows you as a shareholder of a company. A percent you and your husband agreed upon.
You know this Gilbert we're talking about, yeah?
Yes, and I know him better than you do.
I guess my own mother is not thrilled to meet me, as you thought. It's not the first time anyway.
Gilbert agenda ddamu amagezi kati.
Anti naawe olimba kyogamba badde talina magezi bulijjo. Gwe sirika oyo mwami wange gw'oyogerako bw'otyo.
But can you talk about something else?
Something like?
Can you talk about us?
This is not what I expected when I was giving you this money.
That's not what we expected either. Besides, accepting your money in the very first place was a very big mistake.
Mirinda, free of Kwanzaa.
This is NTV.
Good evening, our precious viewers. This is Karagaba Baldwins coming to you live from NTV at Kampala Serena International Conference Center. Today, we're going to talk agroeconomics. We're going to talk agriculture, we're going to talk crop farming, animal farming, fisheries, so many things, a plethora of stuff that concern the Ministry of Agriculture. So, as we kick it off in this particular discussion, let me just have a brief to make sure that I bring you on board. Over 80% of Ugandan households are involved in agriculture. The farmers grow about 16 major crops according to the Uganda Census of Agriculture by the 2014 census. In the case of cash crops in 2014, about 21,000 tons of coffee was procured, marking a reduction of about 1% from that procured in 2013. Cotton and tobacco were about 13,000 tons and 25,000 tons, respectively, registering reductions of 32% and 25% respectively. And on the other hand, tea production was reduced by 32%. And in that particular same line, cattle and poultry numbers increased by just about 3% and 2.5% respectively between 2013 and 2014, while goat, sheep and pig numbers reduced by 2.9% in the same period. The fisheries industry is recently facing a very drastic and hard time along the way, and the agricultural industry is, of course, as we know, is run by the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. The ministry is apparently structured up with 4 directorates, which would be an equivalent to the corporate breakdown of departments. 1, Directorate of Animal Resources, Directorate of Crop Resources, Directorate of Fisheries, and Directorate of Agriculture Advisory Services. The ministry annually conducts a multi-stakeholders joint review convention. This year, the review is slated to run between Monday 29th to Tuesday 30th August at the Munyonyo Commonwealth grounds. It's on this basis of this upcoming review convention that I'm hosting key officials from the ministry for us to make a review analysis of how this agricultural sector, the industry so far has performed, and how they intend to make sure that it proceeds on forward for the future. So you're welcome. Thank you for making us number one. I'm Karagaba Baldwins once again. Just on set here, from my left, let me just reserve the great respect for the middleman here. On my left, I have Mr. Samuel Semanda, Commissioner of Agriculture Planning and Development. Mr. Semanda, you're welcome.
Thank you, Baldwins.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting us, and we are glad to be addressing you, viewers.
Yeah, this is a quintessential matter definitely of concern. Any communication with yellow color? Are you in a sunny mood or is
no communication, Baldwin, but
yes.
Normally during the weekend I wear yellow. It's a
Oh.
good color, easily visible.
Okay, fantastic. Nice to have you on set. We're going to have a great show, I believe. And in the middle, have a fabulous man, a public servant, politician, and of course now a CEO of this ministry. This is Mr. Honorable Sempija Vincent Bamulangachi, the Cabinet Minister, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. Honorable Minister, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers, and I'm happy to join the studios today.
Yes.
On TV.
How long have you had the job?
I've been there
for
some time.
Okay. What is your responsibility usually?
I'm the overall policy guider. I guide on policy and I lead the ministry, the sector generally, the sector of agriculture, animal industry and fisheries. So I also the main spokesman of the ministry. Yes.
And I'm glad. It's a great privilege indeed to have you here at NTV.
When other people have talked about it,
yes,
I will bring the final version of the ministry.
Great. Now, just help us give us an expose, a breakdown of what the ministry is. What is your mandate? How is it structured? I've just made a certain brief breakdown. I hope I'm not speculating. This is the right reflection of years. So what does the ministry do? What is its purpose?
The ministry is mandated to provide policy, overall policy for agriculture, animal industry and fisheries for this country. And also leading all these departments under the different directorates to make sure that we provide not only food for this country, but also making sure that we support our farmers to raise their incomes from agriculture, and also support this country to make sure that we export. We must lead in supporting the export base of this country. Yes.
And you think it's agriculture that's going to make it?
Yeah, we think agriculture is in the right position to make it. One, everybody, unlike in the past, when people are looking at this sector as not very important, this time everybody, all around, the leaders, the political leaders, the technical people in the country, all over, the people themselves, the public, thinks that it's it's high time now. The Ministry of Agriculture took its position to make sure that we lead in this struggle, especially in this new agenda of getting Uganda into the middle income status by 2020. Our sector should really take the lead. Yes.
Just lastly, before I bring in Mr. Seman, who has more technical detail on this matter, how is the ministry really in connection with the people? Because, you know, it sounds like a bureaucratic, engineered corporate presence, a political just institution out there, but people down on the ground, their crops are still, you know, getting withered because of extreme drought or sunshine, lack of water, you know, poor yields. How is the ministry connected to the people on the ground?
The structure of the ministry is really goes down up to the last person, the farmer on the ground. One, we have 7 directorates, 7 agencies. I think
that includes NADS.
Includes NADS, NARO, CDO, DDA, COCTU, UCDA, NAGRIC. All these are part of and making it the biggest, the biggest sector among the ministries. You can see with 7 agencies and 4 directorates at the headquarters, plus departments at district level. We have a district production of coordinator, somebody who coordinates all of these at the district. Then you have an agriculture officer, you have a veterinary officer at the district. you have entomologists, you have fisheries officers at the district level. Then you go down at the sub-county level, where we have what you these days call extension staff. But these are extension officers to take on the issues with the farmers on the ground.
Okay, good. We were still exploring the same discussion, and I hope it's agreeable to the public, because they will call in at a later stage. Now, Mr. Semanda, and Minister, you can come in on some of these two questions I'm going to pose to you. What is the agricultural sector? Of course, a great comedy story is around. I don't know whether it's a comedy or it's a reality, that now goats and chicken are £1 million or £1 million shilling sort of business. How is the agricultural status? Are people really making money out of agriculture? Is the agricultural status good? What is the reading, as of course we go into this review?
Thank you, Baldwins. The agriculture sector is good, I should say. People are making money, but it's not as easy as people project it, because we know that everybody thinks that you can make money in agriculture, and you can. Literally, all the subsectors of agriculture are profitable. But it needs to be done scientifically. It needs to be done in a manner that is competitive, because the world is open. But I must point out that Uganda's agriculture sector contributes 26% of GDP as of now, and that's quite substantial. Some people, when they hear that it has gone down relative to industry and tourism, they don't realize that it is still the largest. Two, the growth rate is standing at 2.6%. It contributes 53.6% of foreign exchange earnings, which is quite substantial. It feeds all the people of Uganda.
Agriculture contributes 53.6%
of the foreign exchange earnings of the country.
Okay.
It feeds all the people of Uganda, including the incremental population. Many people tend to forget that every year, Uganda, at the current rate of growth of population, adds 1 million people. Baldwins, you can imagine what it takes to feed 1 million people added in 1 year. But equally important, Uganda is a net exporter of agricultural products in the region, and it is growing. It is growing, as I mentioned earlier, but it is also expected to grow exponentially, because we have a strong, with my great thanks to the Honorable Minister and the leadership of the country, we have a very strong support for the sector. You've seen a substantial growth in the sector in this new financial year, from about 493 billion to about 823 billion, and we see a lot of material being pumped there. I must add that all these will only come good when the private sector, the farmer out there, the processor, the exporter, go in, and it is the sector's objective to support them achieve these objectives.
So is the policy environment, definitely the minister can come in a bit. Do you think the issue of liberalization of the markets, the microeconomic framework of investment, is supportive to the traditional small-scale farmer and the emphasis, on issues of industrialization? Do you think actually the local farmer is still having an edge to enter into gardening, get good outcome of that, and be sustained for economic personal welfare? Or we are changing the whole mix and we are fronting the issue of industrialization, of modernization, and making sure that people actually have mass farming output?
That industrialization, modernization of agriculture is in line with the framework of liberalization. People may think that's different, but we are only accelerating the rate of growth. Therefore, of necessity, we are embracing a model where we see apex value adders, like the industrialists, working with the people, producers. Many people say that Uganda does not produce this, does not produce that. First of all, we must know that most of the agricultural products are perishable. Therefore, their shelf life is short. So the production system begins from the smallest person. You've heard some leaders saying echibalo. I don't know how to put that in English. But maybe the arithmetic, meaning profitability. We must do things which have high profitability, even when you have the small 1 acre or half an acre. So we are focusing on those commodities whose income, as the Honourable Minister will come in on giving an example, coffee or whatever, where the yields are high through the year, the international prices are good, the local prices are good, and the objective of this country is to raise the 68%, 69% of the people in subsistence agriculture into commercial agriculture, and therefore earn at least 20 million shillings a year. So, by and large, it is good, but we have to improve it, and we are doing everything possible to support the private sector at all levels to improve it.
Yes. Just means 1 minute so that we...
68% of people in agriculture are in subsistence agriculture, but I want to say that these are our main allies in this revolution. We need to handle them carefully. We need to help them to make sure that they become a bit more competitive. They go into commercialization. They become commercial in their approach to their work, to agriculture. What we are doing now is to adapt one of the innovations, let me call it an innovation, thought by His Excellency the President. There is the 4-acre plan, targeting the small farmer, because we thought, in the wisdom of His Excellency the President, most Ugandans have 4 acres of land. Some 2, others 1, others even less.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to come on.
Yes. And these form the 68% Mr. Semada is talking about. Those with the small holders. But you can be a small landholder, but also a commercial farmer, depending on what enterprise you choose to undertake.
Okay, we shall come to that because we want to deal with crop farming. And I just, Mr. Semanda, before, because you're supposed to have a certain shift, just the target essence of this talk show is also to make sure that we highlight the review that is coming. So tell us about the review which is coming, its essence, and I hope it's just not a talk shop arrangement. How helpful is this? When and how helpful is this?
The joint annual agricultural review is coming on. It is going to be held on Monday and Tuesday, and we hope that NTV will still support us to beam it to the country and to the world. Yes, and we are very grateful for that. This is held annually, and it is by law. It is within the laws of Uganda that it should be held annually. It is a review, as you hear it, of what we've done, how we have done it, have we achieved our objectives? Yes, we learned the good lessons. No, why not? We invite many people. It's going to be a convention of about 400 to 500 people at Munyonyo Speak Resort, and that includes the private sector. So
it's by invitation? I
yes,
just can't walk
it's by invitation.
Okay.
I hope the Honourable Minister will be happy to invite
You're invited.
you. Oh. Now, we also invite the processors, the exporters, the farmers by private sector, mainly I mean the farmers. They are our number one. We're development partners, the NGOs, other ministries, departments and agencies whom we work with, because government works interrelatedly. And we also review what we undertook to do the last JASAR, we abbreviate it JASAR. Have we done it? Have we done it well? But it also comes at a time when we have our national agricultural sector strategy, or what is called agriculture, the agriculture sector strategic plan.
Yeah, just in about a few seconds, because I'm supposed to wrap up.
So that one is in line with the second national development plan and in line with the CADAP. I'm sure you are familiar with the CADAP, with the Maputo Declaration 1 and CADAP 2, Maro Declaration. And it aims at increasing production and productivity, ensuring food security for all the people of Uganda, and equally important, increasing exports to at least $4 billion per year. by the year 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Semanda. Just because of the constraint of time, you have to get a break. And today is a peculiar show. I'm going to have actually Mr. Semanda get off in the meantime of the set. I'm going to bring in other two guests, so beware. You're going to have different set, but the minister is staying here, so don't worry. And at the last segment, you'll have the opportunity to call in. Just a short break. We'll be back. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs.
Miss Tourism 2016 is back, bigger and better. To showcase the beauty of Uganda in tourism, let us travel throughout the Pearl of Africa in search of Miss Tourism 2016. The search for Miss Tourism is on as we travel the country in search for beauty pageants. Catch the weekly shows on Spark TV every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. And the grand finale will be broadcast live on Spark TV on 30th September 2016 from Kampala Sarita Conference Center. Miss Tourism 2016 is brought to you by...
Cool, but discount is still low. What's wrong with you? I'm searching for a good discount zone. I'm also searching for a good discount zone. Move out of my way.
Guys, you don't need to search for any discount zone anymore. With AfriCell Tokota Unlimited, you can now talk a whole 24 hours for just 1,000 shillings. Just dial *134# to activate.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus came to set you free and to be free indeed.
In life, you don't wait. There are certain times where you wait for certain decisions, but when it comes to taking action and choices, you have to move.
Jesus Christ found me, and he actually asked me a question, whether I wanted to live or to die.
Every day of my life was struggling. It's just that God has given me this kind of hope.
GXP every Sunday only on NTV, your official inspiration station.
From the land of the rising sun, 100 determined athletes have accepted the challenge to become
I will be.
I'm gonna be the first
Ninja Warrior. Divided into 4 extreme stages, competitors face the ultimate test of strength and will in their quest to become champion. Many are called, few are chosen.
Demonstrating incredible speed, strength, and focus, Levi demolished the second stage. Makoto Nagano achieved the near impossible by becoming only the second man in history to complete all 4 stages of Ninja Warrior.
Now, let's find out who's tough enough to become the next Ninja Warrior.
Raise the praise.
You're a good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are.
Get inspiration. Rise up every morning with a song of praise to the Lord. A day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. Soul Moment, every Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
When we talk food, we mean the skill of slicing and dicing, the art of flavor, the art of presentation.
It is Kitchen Delight once again, and we are doing real gnocchi. We're going to be making something very interesting. Chicken dim sum and some shredded beef.
The art of cooking is more than just culinary goodness. It is an experience and an expression.
Look at that.
So join us every Sunday here on Kitchen Delight as we explore the sovereign dishes, of course, from my kitchen to your kitchen. The recipes from Uganda and beyond, guaranteed to arouse your appetite, and it's happening only on NTV.
Karagaba, Baldwins is my name. You're watching NTV. Thanks for making us your #1 station. We're talking agriculture, crop farming, fisheries, animal production, advisory services on agriculture, a plethora of things. And I have a phenomenal team of public servants in the Ministry of Agriculture that I'm dealing with. There is a review convention that is conducted annually by the ministries. Actually, most of the ministries do that, and I've been part of some of those conventions. Now, in 2013, I just made an extract. They had issues that they raised. One of them, just read about 3. They raised an issue, just part of the agreement on things to deal with, and then they show the action to be taken and who should take it. One of the things that they raised up was poor nutrition and nodding disease in Lamuo district. That was in 2013. So they said they were going to provide nutrition education to farmers. Then the other one was hostility to genetically modified organisms, the controversy about GMOs. Then they said they were going to provide information on GMOs and the biotechnology and biosafety bill procedures. It's still a struggle on that. And then lastly, amongst these things, there were about 28 agreed upon stuff. Illegal fishing on lakes, the intensify enforcement of controlling illegal fishing. We don't know whether we have that settled, but we're going to discuss it. Now on set, besides my Honorable Prime Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries, I have 2 other gentlemen that have replaced Mr. Semanda. And at the extreme left, I have Mr. Okasai Opolot, the Director of Crop Resources, that is the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. Mr. Okasai, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, what is exactly your role?
I'm a Director of Crop Resources in the Ministry of Agriculture.
Okay, exactly what does that imply? What is entailed in that?
My role is spearheading the promotion of the crop subsector with a mandate of improving crop production, pest and disease control, and then also regulating the exports of agricultural products.
Okay. I'm going to come to you. Then, right here next to him is Dr. Kauta Nicholas, Director, Animal Resources, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. Doctor, you're welcome.
Thanks very much.
Delighted to see you. So you're the one who is promoting goats and sheep and
promoting livestock.
Are they really worth millions?
Yes,
Wow, I should really explore that. Sure. So you're welcome. We're going to have just a discussion on your department. But let me get back to Minister. Honorable Minister, so the aspect of the challenges facing agriculture, because you need to know what the problems are for your clients, that is the farmers and everyone who's doing agriculture. What are those challenges that you've identified, especially through these reviews, and how are you dealing with them? Just 3 for purposes of time.
Yeah, let me say that the biggest challenge today are the targets that we have set ourselves. We have set ourselves very high targets. For example, we are talking about 20 million bags of coffee, from 3 million bags of coffee today that we are exporting. It's a very big challenge.
By when?
By 2020.
Okay.
We are talking about zero tolerance to illegal fishing. People are used to illegal fishing. Some of them have even become very rich, and the untouchables. So it's part of the challenges. But of course, there are other challenges that people know about, like the adulterated inputs in the market. We have lack of irrigation technologies. We also have, of course, the weather, the climate change issues that are affecting our systems, our agricultural systems. All these are challenges, of course. And of course, we have a problem
usually,
of...
Honorable Minister, just a slide, especially now when you talk about making sure that you legislate against certain things, including adulterated or counterfeit inputs. I had a very sensational talk show here about the same matter. But the baton of the complaint of the people who are frustrating the success in those areas is actually politicians. What is the problem with the politicians? No legislation done, implementation or enforcement of certain rather set up policies are not properly implemented. Don't you think politicians are part of the problem?
No, I think we are going to, now of recent we have had the engagements, especially you remember the Chankwans retreat organized by His Excellency the President, causing everybody to look at things in the same way. And understanding our different roles and how we should complement each other in all this. We can't move this country to middle status income when people are just in an ad hoc style. We need to really to forge together and understand issues in a collective way. So that is one. We have also had other meetings as cabinet, as ministers. We have had meetings with the permanent secretaries. We are moving on, and as a sector, in this review that we're going to have come next Monday, we need to get our system, our whole structure, all staff, everybody who is involved in the agricultural system must really think in the same way. We must share and plan together to make sure that it's no longer business as usual, but really target real success. It's a very big. We are talking about getting Uganda $4 billion from the agricultural sector in exports. We can't achieve that without in this ad hoc way that sometimes we move on. We really need to think together, put our heads together, and then plan ourselves in a very serious way, and then we move on. So it's really, I think what you think is political and all this is sometimes misunderstandings, and sometimes people are bound to have divergent views, but that does not mean that we should not see the goal itself. Okay,
just we are really constrained by time. I would wish we break down, we analyze how the crop industry, crop farming industry does, but you're the decision maker, so you never know. You'll get us back here. So, Mr. Polot, you're the director. Okay, you're dealing with the Directorate of Crop Farming. Just give us a synopsis. What is going on in crop farming? Because one of the reports recently is showing that especially cash crops are going down in terms of production capacity. We are not doing any well.
It's not right that the crops are going down because the statistics show that coffee exports are actually increasing. But, for example, coffee expanded its export by about 10% last year. And there was a decrease in the revenue. Those are two different things. The exports went up by 10%, but the revenue dropped by about 13%.
So the exports, you're talking about the volume in terms
of
tonnages?
Yes, the volumes, the tonnage went up, but the earnings actually reduced. And the reason for reduction was a drop in the global coffee prices. So those are two different things. And then when you go to cotton, cotton also increased. It actually increased by about 17%. When you go to tobacco, cocoa increased by about 16%. So it's not true that the exports are dropping of our cash crops. When you go into the food crops, last year we had about 4.7% increase in maize production. Similarly, we had a big increase, about 12% in rice. So generally, the trend of production is going up. However, there may have been little variations. We had expected higher increases in production of these commodities, but there was a dry spell. But if you recall, it was actually only last year that we had excess maize production, and the prices of the food crops are stable. They haven't increased at all in Uganda.
And what are the destinations of the exportations of crops?
The destinations of exports for coffee, cocoa, the destination is European countries mainly. But when you get into the food crops, maize mainly goes to Kenya, it goes to Sudan. Those are our major exports.
And Sudan has been
South Sudan. South Sudan, yes, South Sudan.
Has been pulverized. It's in a political shambles.
Yes, that was last year.
So which is a very negative implication to...
It has got negative implications, but still we have a lot of other areas that our maize is going to.
Okay.
Our major importer of maize is Kenya.
Just one last question in that thread before I come to Dr. Nicholas. There is a crop, I think it had come into the field as a cash crop, vanilla. So what happened to vanilla, sir?
Vanilla is a crop that we cannot talk authoritatively on because, one, we are not a major producer of vanilla. Vanilla is the main producer of vanilla is Madagascar. However, whenever there is a calamity in Madagascar, we actually get an opportunity to export a lot of our vanilla into the market. That's why you find the prices of vanilla are fluctuating. The prices go up when Madagascar has had a problem, but if it doesn't have a problem, everybody knows vanilla comes from Madagascar. And we cannot actually make a policy on vanilla because vanilla is a spice, no nutritional value. And then also vanilla can be generated through science. The vanillium is a flavor. It can be got through the laboratory. So we only get those niche markets where they require organic vanillium. Otherwise, vanilla, if you don't know about it, it can be generated, manufactured in the laboratories.
Okay, thank you. There's too much. It's just time constraint. I would have brought up different reasons why I got that question, but thanks for some clearance. Yes, Dr. Nicholas, give us also an overview of the animal industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
The animal industry, the pillars of the animal industry are several species of animals. You have the cattle, and among the cattle you have the dairy aspect and the beef aspect. You have the goats, you have the sheep, you have the poultry, and the poultry also is divided into the layer family and the broilers and then the dual purpose. Then we have got the honey producing area, that's the bee sector. We have sericulture. So these sectors are all there and they are performing at a different rate. Some sectors are favored in that they are playing the traditional role. Others are not moving as fast. For example, the dairy sector has moved very, very well. Right now we are talking about production of about 2.08 billion liters of milk per year. And this came 5 years ago from about 1.8. So we have added another about getting almost another 1 billion on top. The processing capacity, which was only about 730,000 liters of milk 5 years ago, has grown to 1.9 billion liters. The processing units have moved from about 22 to 79. and we are exporting milk. You know, sometime back we were importing powdered milk, powder, and reconstituting and distributing. Now we are exporting. We export casein to the United States. We export UHT milk, about 1.9 not billion, liter, 1.9 million liters. We export powdered milk, about 1.9 million kilograms. We export ghee. So you can see that the range of things we're exporting is big, and it is growing. Now, the beef sector has not moved as fast as the dairy. But that's why I say culturally certain things happen. People in this country have normally kept cattle more for the milk than for selling for beef. And they sell animals when they have problems, not because they have kept them for selling.
Yes.
So the beef sector, but then we are moving out of it. Number two, when we put in place milk processing units, it kind of catalyzed the milk production because the outlet existed. The beef, we are just getting on board with the processing. That's why you hear of the abattoirs recently opened. There is that one in Bombo. There is another one in Mtarangwa, which is the president put a foundation stone, and 2 others are trying to come up. So that is also a catalyst, and we think that beef production will come up. People will keep animals to sell for beef, rather than the current thing of keeping it there. Maybe the son will go to school and what. So that's the cattle area.
Okay, great. It's a very wide, just as I was telling you briefly, and the challenges I have very limited time. Just Minister, just something. Say in 1 minute. Unfortunately, because I need to have a break off. 1 minute. What is the issue with the fisheries? Fish stock seems to be down. We have a fight on the lake. You know, Lake Victoria. How is the fishing industry faring? Just 1 minute, please, so that I can...
In 1 minute, I want to say that the fishing industry has been mismanaged. And we didn't have control over the fisheries activities that were going on the lake. Generally, lack of control, lack of proper management of the fish resources. Fisheries resources on the lakes, all the lakes, unfortunately. Unfortunately, all the lakes.
Okay, so just one solution.
Yeah, we need to take on serious management of our water bodies without fear.
Further delay. Okay, great. Thank you so much for keeping with us. I'm usually put into a very catch-22 situation because the issues are extremely enormous to discuss and we have very limited time. We're going to have a short break and we'll be back to get your calls, give feedback. I know this is a very pertinent issue to all our public. Thank you. After a short break.
Described by critics as the world's most failed state, bedeviled by conflict and untold suffering. But after 47 years of disenfranchisement, Somalia is going to the polls.
Somalia elects through clan system.
If someone else takes over through the elections, I will definitely hand over on the spot.
As AMISOM's term hits the home stretch, we look at the UPDF's 10 years excursion in the war-torn nation.
This is about our Pan-Africanist ideals.
A bullet for an enemy, and that's it. If you give me 100, I'll bring for you 100 bodies, you know.
How prepared is the Somali National Army to take back the country when AMISOM winds up its tour of duty?
You need a Somali National Army that is acceptable by the people.
What next for Somalia? Starting Monday, the 29th of August on NTV Tonight.
And we give all we've got, lay it all down.
The Ugandan is recharged.
Our respect is recharged.
My energy is recharged.
My confidence is recharged.
My pride is recharged. Our passion is recharged.
When you recharge, we get supercharged. Uganda! Recharge your passion and Mujetulumbe. Recharge Airtel airtime and win 1 million shillings daily, a car every week, and free tickets to watch Uganda Cranes charge against Comoros in the final AFCON qualifier at Nambole on the 4th of September, starting at 5 p.m. Airtel, the official sponsor of the Uganda Cranes.
I'm loving your love, baby. I got a weakness for sweetness. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get not free. You're a ghost. This can't be. Ooh la la la. It's the way that we rock when we doing our thing. Ooh la la la. It's the natural law that the refugees bring. Ooh la 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 la.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, in collaboration with the Agricultural Sector Development Partners, are bringing you the 6th Joint Agricultural Sector Annual Review Workshop from 29th to 30th August 2016 at Speak Resort Hotel, Munyonyo. The primary objective of the JASAR is to gather all stakeholders in the agricultural sector to review the performance of the sector for financial year 2015-2016 and to propose new strategies for moving the agricultural sector forward. This year's theme is Enhancing Agricultural Productivity for Job Creation. JASAR meetings will be broadcast live on NTV on Monday 29th August 2016 from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and on Tuesday 30th August 2016 from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Thank you for keeping with us, and this is NTV Definitely coming to you live from the Kampala International Senior Conference Center. Karagaba Baldwins is my name. So just we're going to wrap up this discussion, unfortunately just very limited time, talking about agriculture. Have very phenomenal panelists here from the Ministry of Agriculture, and Mr. Semanda is back here in the studio. So I want you to call in. I'm just letting my control friends in the control room to make sure that they put the phone line just down here so that you can call in straight away. I have very few minutes for us to be out of here. So let me go straight to Mr. Semanda. There is a growth, of course, it's known fact. It's a known fact that Uganda is, the demographics favor the young, over 15, rather the people under 15 years, over 70%. These young people are not interested in agriculture. How do you intend to sustain the competitiveness of agriculture when young people are not interested in this?
Thank you, Baldwins. Yes, as you say, they are a larger proportion of our population. We want them encouraged to be in agriculture. Some people think that we should give them machines so that they get interested in agriculture. I have a different view. Machines are very expensive. We as parents, we as Ugandans, all of us, not the government, not only the political leadership, we must start training our children early that you can do agriculture, you can produce, and you can make money. And when you work with them, please don't just take the money and keep it in your pocket and pay school fees. When they are going back, give them 10, 20, 50,000, 100,000. Go and buy something you want to go to school. This money came from what we sold from agriculture, so that they know. That way we will interest them and move them on board. But we are also having deliberate plans where we have programs for the youth, for the women. We have an Equal Opportunities Commission, I believe you are aware of it, and we are giving all people equal opportunities. But we need to get everybody on board, and we are doing our best.
Okay, great. My questions are done in the meantime. Let me now entertain you with the questions from the public. People are watching. Yes, good evening. I'm now going to pick calls. Somebody online? Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Very nice to hear you. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Mukunda
Nice to hear you. Your question or comment?
In dairy. And my question regards breeding. I think is one of the most important aspects in dairy farming. But we have a challenge like the whole of Mubende.
Okay, breeding. Another call, so the Honorable Minister, you try to see how you respond. Hello? Okay, lost the caller. Nobody else calling? All right, so, Honorable Minister, any idea about breeding issues in...
Generally, the animal sector has a lot of issues we need to undertake. And when you take breeding is a very important aspect. It's undertaken by NAGRIC.
Yes.
We have a whole agency for breeding purposes. And during this review, we are going to review the mandate and the responsibilities of NAGRIC to be able to reach the...
NAGRIC is what?
National Genetic Resources.
Okay, good, yes. So make sure you help me take a certain considerable
so we need to...
of Mubende.
Yes, we need to take...
I just have a call. Honorable Minister, unfortunately, you will not get feedback if we go. Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, gentleman, your name and where you're calling from?
I'm supporter Ronald, calling from Jantongi.
Nice to hear you. Your question or comment?
My comment is, the minister is now suggesting the distribution of inputs. And there are a lot of funds being injected there. But they are not considering the intensive dry spell that is disturbing us.
The
dry spell, intensive dry spell.
The dry spell.
Okay, yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Somebody else? Somebody else? Okay. All right. Dry spell issues. Mr. Semanda, can you have a response over that?
Yes,
and then we shall
maybe Mr. Okasa will come in.
Yes.
One, we are seriously considering the dry spell. Last season we had a very short window of rains. We expect this season to be a little longer, but our science people are developing products which are weather dry spell resistant, which mature quickly, and we also advise farmers. We send out seasonal messages to advise farmers to do the right things in the right time. But also, please permit me to touch a little bit on breeding, animal breeding in Mubende. We know that one of the problems we are saying you have no enough lines of bulls. We have more than 35 bulls at the breeding station. That's enough for those who know animal breeding. And we have about 1,850 artificial insemination technicians covering the country. We are upscaling that so that we can cover the entire country, at least by sub-county. And we expect that we are increasing. We now have capacity to have liquid nitrogen all over the country. Government has given us support. We are putting in place regional centers for liquid nitrogen. We are pumping there more artificial semen. Please embrace the breeding for artificial insemination.
Okay, I have just
we need
one and a half
person at every parish.
Okay,
at
good.
Some stage.
Honorable Minister, just have 1 minute, but let me get Ms. Okasa. Just 30 seconds. It's just a challenge time. So, any last remarks? Then I have the Minister.
Yeah, the challenge on dry spells. Timely planting is very important. There are certain crops which you can actually plant when it is dry. The grains, maize, should be planted when it is dry, when the rains are coming. The issue is timely performance of field activities. Many times the farmers start preparing the gardens when the rains have come. When the rains come, you should have prepared your gardens, you should have planted your cereals, because they benefit from the flash of the rains. The fertilizer is out there, nitrogen is in the air. The first rains bring the nitrogen down. If you have not planted, you actually lose until the weeds which benefit from it. And then supplementary irrigation and in situ conservation of water, keeping the water in the field, mulching, You can also do...
Yeah, just let's leave it, pause it to that, just because we're running out of time. Yeah. Yes, Honorable Minister, especially for the invitation and message to the review. Yes.
I want to say that during this review, I want to request all those that were invited to really be there. Agriculture this time is different approach. Everybody is expecting too much from us. We need to sit and agree on the way forward, what we are going to do, and look at what we have not done, and then fill the gaps and plan forward. I want to inform the public that in view of the current changes in the weather, we are going to issue circulars in the various languages in the country to inform all our farmers and local leaders on what they should do in the circumstances.
Okay.
And of course guide them on the right seeds and all this that we have been able to, which products that we have been able to get from research that can really match the current situation.
Okay. Honorable Minister, thank you indeed so much, Mr. Semanda and Ms. Okasai. It's just a constraint of time. Apologies for cutting this whole dialogue short. Thank you, our viewers. It's Baldwins Karagaba will be coming back on Monday. Thanks to our production team, our marketing team, and of course the Ministry of Agriculture that has enabled us to have this show. God bless. I'll be back next week.